Welcome to the guild.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You've already missed like two things that you probably didn't see in the first 2 seconds of that trailer that have huge impacts on the story of Call of Duty and what the next game is going to be. If you didn't know already, yesterday we got the first trailer for Call of Duty Black Ops 7, the game that is coming out in 2025. And here's the thing with this trailer. There's two things that kind of blew my mind about it. Number one, when you first start looking at this trailer, it looks nothing like Call of Duty, and I think that's why so many people were absolutely shocked by this trailer. Thing number two, and I have to say this has to be the most detailed and intricate trailer that we have ever got for a Call of Duty game, and I don't say that lightly. There are so many little details in this trailer for not only Call of Duty but also other little things like the actors who are playing people and a little bit more. It is absolutely wild. What's even more wild is if you go to YouTube and look at this, it's not even considered a reveal trailer, it is considered a teaser trailer. So I can only imagine what we're going to be getting as the reveal trailer later this month. Yes, I actually think we know when the reveal trailer is going to come out, even though they just said summer of 2025 for that. We'll get into that more and more, but first, let me talk about the first two things that you already missed within this trailer. The trailer starts out with this logo. This logo is for
Welcome to the guild.
Yes, the guild. And if you weren't a Call of Duty fan, and pretty much a pretty in-depth Call of Duty fan, you wouldn't know what the guild is. But indeed, the guild is from Call of Duty Black Ops 6. A character by the name of Savati Dumas was an assassin within a little place called Avalon, which is going to come back later on in the trailer. Now, she worked for a crime family in Avalon known as the Guild.
But it probably won't shock you, Case, to learn what happened next. The whole thing was a lie. He was innocent. I fled the guild and vowed to myself that I would bring the whole house down.
So this crime family tricked Savati Dumas into killing her husband, boyfriend, and now, somehow, this crime family now has turned into this billion-dollar industry making government and military robotics. Now, speaking of that, going back to that logo, it actually may look a little bit more familiar than you thought. This is the logo for the guild, and this is the logo for Deisler Robotics, the robotics company within Black Ops 4, which takes place in the year 2045, by the way, which this game, Black Ops 7, takes place in 2035, and they were responsible for all of the robotics in that game. Keep in mind, some of the things we're going to talk about here, I'm going to have in more videos throughout the week, so you're going to want to make sure you're subscribed. Now, the person greeting us into the guild is a robot, which is very reminiscent of Ethan from Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Also, some GI robots from Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4. So the next little section of this trailer is working your way through the guild's office, building, facility, whatever you want to call it, and you are being directed by this robot. And very clearly, you can see that this is not the only robot. They are kind of selling these robots as peacekeeping robots. Now, once we get inside the guild, we actually get our first look at our character, the main character, and that character is actually David Mason. Now, you may be saying, that doesn't look like David Mason from Call of Duty Black Ops 2, and that is because it is a brand new actor. And that actor is Milo Ventimiglia. We'll just go with Milo V. Now, if you don't know who this is the actor who is Rocky's son. That's right, Rocky Balboa's son is now David Mason, as well as one of the main characters from This Is Us, and let me just say, man, can he act in that TV show. So the second character that we are introduced to after David Mason is the leader, CEO seemingly, and visionary of the guild, and her name is Emma Kagan. Now, this character is played by someone by the name of Kiernan Shipka. Now, you may be wondering who that is. Now, she is in number 1, Mad Men, but more importantly, Twister. Now, at this point, we don't know if this is going to be a good or evil character, but we will get into the evil characters in a second. But they did also announce in an article with The Verge, another character who is going to be making a return is Harper from Black Ops 2. Now, he is going to be once again played by Michael Rooker, who, if you don't already know, is Harper in Black Ops 2, as well as Yondu in Guardians of the Galaxy. Which, by the way, for another future video coming this week, this also gives us an answer as to the proper ending for Black Ops 2, which also tells us that this never happened.
Come on, Egghead! Do it!
Now, going back to the trailer, this is where things get wild. First of all, we have the butterfly, which I think is symbolizing the butterfly effect, because after David Mason walks over and touches the screen and completely breaks his reality, we actually get a flash from the past looking back at the history of various Black Ops games. First off, it starts with this, which can be looked at either the frozen forest or kind of how we see the past with Jane Harrow in Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Now, this next section confused me. This is the one where everything goes upside down. Things are either in Chinese or Japanese, but as it turns out, it looks like it's actually Chinese, because through this section, this is Kowloon City, a city from Call of Duty Black Ops 1. You see, because this is actually a memory that David Mason is having from the perspective of Jason Hudson, who was in Kowloon City. Now, you may be wondering how I actually know this, and that is because in the next section, we then see David Mason in amongst a bunch of shipping containers in some sort of dark jungle. This is Frank Wood's memory. Frank Woods, of course, being stuck in a shipping container from Raul Menendez in Call of Duty Black Ops 2. So hence the super dark shipping container. No, it's not a dark version of shipment. And then we move into the most important scene. The scene where the TVs turn on, you can see the bench in the background, but there's a little bit more to this, because this is a flashback to Call of Duty Black Ops 1 and his father, Alex Mason, being brainwashed. Now, another thing you may have missed is, yes, there's the TVs with the numbers on it, but down in the bottom left, there is the same tapes that we see within the seasons of Black Ops Cold War, which contain the Dragovich's numbers sequence, which is used to do the brainwashing. So that line that you hear there is Raul Menendez saying David, as followed up by him saying opulence is sinful and you will pay for it, which is a direct line from his webcast.
Opulence is sinful, and we all pay for it.
Now, we will come back to this webcast later on, but just know that that's where it's from. And then this is where we get to the standoff with David Mason and Raul Menendez.
Fear is a powerful thing. David Mason.
Now, there's a first look at our new Raul Menendez, but I don't know if you caught it. The music there goes to a remix of the original Black Ops 2 theme. Now, after this is when the title screen plays and we get to see a little bit more of what the characters will actually look like in game. Now, through this little segment, there is a bunch of hidden numbers and letters that flash up on the screen. Some of these do actually mean something, and let's dive into those next. Now, let's start out with this title screen in and of itself, because there's very clearly two sides to this, a blue side and an orange side. The blue side is, of course, referring to Black Ops 2. When you look at the main menu of that game, it kind of has this blue theme to it, whereas the orange side is referring to Black Ops 6 and the promotion that we saw with that. They also told us that this game, Black Ops 7, is a basic direct sequel to a combination of both of those two games. Speaking of which, with Black Ops 6, the promotional material was centered around something known as Cerberus, the three-headed dog. Well, as of right now on BattleNet, you can actually go and see the logo for Black Ops 7, which is a chimera, which is not a three-headed dog, but a kind of three-headed animal, including a goat, lion, and a snake. Now, remember how I mentioned on the left-hand side, the blue side being the Black Ops 2 side? Well, if we zoom in on some of the numbers off to this side, we can see a date of June 20th, 2025. Now, as we know, June 19th, 2025 was considered Judgment Day, and that was the day that Raul Menendez was hunted down, captured, or killed, depending on the ending of Black Ops 2. However, the 20th of June 2025 is when this was released.
This video is triggered to play upon my assassination. Cordestier, you know how to proceed. My death will shine light upon ubiquitous darkness.
So then if we go to the promotional material from the website and then we zoom in on the Black Ops 6 side of things, we can see another date, June the 20th, 2035. So in other words, exactly 10 years after the Judgment Day that we just talked about. So with the developers then saying the next time that we're going to see some trailers and stuff for Black Ops 7 being this summer, I truly believe that the next day that we have to look forward to is June the 20th, 2025. They said that we're going to be getting a bunch of teasers, maybe an ARG, something within Warzone. So mark that day in your calendar, mark Judgment Day down. Other things that can be found in the key art at various different sections is number one, some coordinates, which actually lead to Tokyo, Japan, which there was rumors of leaks of some of the maps being Black Ops 2 maps being remade within Japan. Why, we don't know as of yet. Another one we can see Section or Section Breach, which Section was the code name for David Mason, if you remember back in Black Ops 2. And June the 20th can essentially be found everywhere in various different locations. So after we get the reveal of the title, we then move into the gameplay section of the trailer, which is actually very small, but there is a lot to see here. First off, we have a newer version of what appears to be an Osprey, which actually has the guild's logo on the bottom of it. And then we move into this here. This is incredibly important because this takes place in Raul Menendez's mind. How do I know this? You see that building in the background? That is the same building from the mission Time and Fate from Call of Duty Black Ops 2, which is the same mission where Frank Woods actually kills Menendez's sister, Josefina. Now the knives hitting the ground and blood going everywhere and the floating islands, I cannot explain those ones. Now this next segment is going down the hallway of a prison. A lot of people are assuming this to be zombies, specifically Mob of the Dead, which does make a lot of sense with what we've heard about zombies coming into this game. In the next section, what we have right here is Avalon, specifically 4 people dropping in on wingsuits. Now we'll come back to that in a minute, but as of right now, if you go into theater mode in Black Ops 6, you can go and look at Avalon. And as you can see, right here is the exact same image right now in Avalon. As you can see from the new trailer of Black Ops 7, it does look a lot better. A lot of people are saying that this is either Blackout 2 or a new Warzone map. However, I don't think it's either of those. I think that this is actually showing off the co-op campaign for Black Ops 7 because they have announced that the campaign is going to be co-op, and the leaks tell us that a good amount of it is going to be on the map Avalon, and it might be mostly an open world campaign, which I'm not going to lie has me a little bit worried. Then we have this scene of what appears to be another one of these kind of like Osprey plane helicopter things landing on what appears to be a building in Japan or Avalon, kind of unsure. Now, this helicopter or airplane says Marines on the side of it, which is kind of weird because traditionally the Marines are not a huge part of Black Ops games whatsoever. Then I think we go inside the same building that we just saw, what appears to be a server room, which is of course a big part of Black Ops 2. But then you can see cloaking technology, which again was a part of Black Ops 2, so makes sense to be in here. Also in the background there, you can see a little bit more of the Asian lettering. I believe this time, however, it is actually though Japanese. The next scene looks like we got a new kill streak or score streak, specifically called the DAWG or a dog. And we have seen similar things like this before, but if this is in multiplayer, I'm guessing it'll be more along the lines of the AGR. And then finally, our first look at actual zombies appears to be the remake of Transit, which has been rumored for quite some time now. So that is everything you missed with this new reveal / teaser trailer for Call of Duty Black Ops 7. I think the next date that we need to pay attention to is June the 20th, as it can be seen several times throughout that trailer. And of course, we'll be keeping our eyes open for several different things, whether it be Easter eggs, ARGs, or anything like that coming for the launch of this game. So make sure you're subscribed, have notifications on. I've got a bunch of story videos coming over the next week for Black Ops 7, so you're going to want to make sure you're subscribed. Let me know what you're thinking of the trailer and the look of Black Ops 7 so far. And as always, until next time, peace.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're making